The person that you're talking about, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member.
The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
Now, imagine granting interviews to your sworn enemy. That's the kind of man Donald Trump is. Really impressive, I must say. That's one of the strongest displays of strength of character. Donald Trump just doesn't care. So long as he's doing the right thing, he stands tall with the truth and, of course, with common sense, which obviously isn't common these days. Now, to commemorate his 100 days in office, President Donald Trump granted this interview to ABC's Terry Moran, and without doubt, the internet has been buzzing ever since the release of this clip. Please, let's get right to it already. And don't forget to like this clip.
The person that you're talking about, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
He came into our country illegally.
How come no one is talking about the different eyewitness accounts against the Maryland man, Abrego Garcia? His wife, for crying out loud, reported being domestically abused, and the left still tries to make him look like the innocent one here. Apart from his obvious ties with the MS-13 gang and the cases of human trafficking leveled against him, Abrego Garcia is an illegal migrant. And whenever we talk about flawed logic, the left comes to mind first, always. And once again, they've proved me right. And as usual, President Trump has been made to look like the bad guy, while the left and their political representatives intentionally pay a blind eye to what the law says about illegal migration. Typical. Now let's move on.
We're doing something that has to be done. We have a country that's very sick. Joe Biden, and it's not him because I don't even think he knew what the hell was happening, but the people around him are vicious people. And what they've done to the country is unbelievable. They've allowed 21 million people to pour into our country. Many of these people are criminals. They've allowed you mentioned Venezuela, the jails of Venezuela to be emptied into the United States. Do you know Venezuela crime is way down? Way, way down. You know why? Because their criminals are now living happily in the United States of America, and we're getting them out. And I was elected to get them out, and we're getting them out.
Under the law.
And we're getting them out fast, and we're getting them out legally.
I think you really need to go back and listen to what Trump said on this last clip. Trump clearly, but without saying too much, touched on the fact that the former President Biden was not the one in control, even when he was on seat. Now, this is a really touchy subject, as we could easily be labeled as conspiracy theorists, but isn't it obvious that a cabal, yes, a group of elites took over the affairs of the White House throughout Biden's tenure? Now and again, we've heard Trump talk about, or rather describe them as the bureaucrats in the White House or the establishment. In all of this, we can agree that the next few years of Donald Trump's tenure will be spent unearthing the misdeeds of his predecessors, and of predecessor particularly Biden and all the elites playing behind the scene.
Now, in some cases we have judges, in some cases they're radical left judges. What happened the other day where a judge was protecting a criminal was horrible. And I think she's got big problems, frankly. And there are a couple of them like that.
I want to talk about one.
Wait a minute. Yep. We have to be treated fairly by judges. And we're not being treated fairly by all judges.
Oh, that's a subject. So you're saying that you don't like some of the rulings, some of the court orders?
I think the rulings will be overturned, yeah.
Let's give it to Terry Moran. He asks some of the most divisive questions, and if Donald Trump wasn't the man he is, he would definitely have fallen for that trap. Clearly, Donald Trump believes in the rule of law and in all the court rulings, regardless of how he feels about them. However, court rulings should be given by people with common sense. Now, take note of this. Common sense is the key word right here. On the next clip, Trump tried explaining his standpoint on this crazy immigration rulings. Check it out.
All I can say is this. If you're going to have 21 million people, and if we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law is the law, sir. The law is the law, and you're
the law doesn't say anything
uphold
about trials.
No, not trials. Hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in. They're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally. We have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't. Sure, and we follow the legal process. I can't have a trial, a major trial for every person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out,
They're
and we have to
bad
get them
guys,
out fast.
Really bad guys. But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Okay.
Protocol.